To this now, several streets in Sunninghill, north of Johannesburg, have been closed to traffic due to a planned march by Eskom employees to Megawatt Park. The power utility and its employees are involved in a wage dispute, which Eskom has blamed for stage 6 load shedding. Now, let's get an update. Now we're joined by the NUM spokesperson, Livhwani Mammburu, and he's on the line with us. Livhwani, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you guys are very busy and in negotiations, of course, with Eskom. Tell us how the talks are going with the utility at the moment.
Definitely, you're right. We are here at Cedarwood in Woodmead, where Eskom has presented an offer. As we speak, the wage negotiations are still underway.
So now we know that, we were going to stage 6, come 4 p.m. this afternoon. Now we're hearing in that news just in that the load shedding will stay at stage 4 up until tonight at 10 p.m. How much of that and your workers can we thank?
Come again?
How much of that is attributed to actually the talks?
I'm not sure of that, but I can tell you that the negotiations are tense, but we are trying by all means to find a solution. That is why we are still here, to make sure that we find a solution.
All right. So earlier today, the utility obviously held its press conference. Some of the key stats from that briefing was that Eskom spent 1.54 billion rands on diesel in June. The utility consumes 14 liters of diesel per second. We heard that's about 840 liters of diesel per second, 50,400 litres per hour. That's more than 1.2 million litres of diesel per day. Of course, Eskom spending a lot of money, on diesel. How is this, at least going to impact on some of your negotiations? Because the power utility is obviously saying it is struggling, to make ends meet, let alone increase salaries.
It's always the same problem even during the wage negotiations, that they are pleading poverty. And when workers are working hard to keep the lights on. So we know the same narrative, but that is not going to stop workers from demanding what they think they deserve. I can tell you now that the 2021 wage negotiations still remain unresolved. We are at the arbitration as we speak, but now we are on 2022 wage negotiations. They declared a dispute. We had to persuade them to come back to the negotiating table. That is why we are here today. That is why, as the unions, we want to make sure that there's stability at the power utility. But what they do every time when there are wage negotiations, they plead poverty. And then after that, they declare a dispute, they want to go to the CCMA.
One of the things that, we've been hearing, just on this the strike about workers, is that there seems to be a disconnect between unions and workers, particularly unions at national level, not communicating enough at branch level. Talk to us about, what that is all about. Is there any truth to it? Are unions losing a lot of their hold in as far as unions are concerned at branch level, and especially workers?
There's no truth about that, to be honest. We are in constant communication with our members. Is that there are things that Eskom is doing to provoke members. Like I gave an example of the 21 wage negotiations that remains unresolved after Eskom has declared a dispute, and they unilaterally implemented a 1.5% increase without the agreement with the unions. And when it comes to 2022 wage negotiations, they declared a dispute. That is what angered the members on the ground. And the workers feel that they are being provoked, because last year Eskom implemented the 1.5%. Workers kept on working, they kept the lights on, they worked very hard, but Eskom is doing the same thing again. That is what angered the workers on the ground, and the public is not being told the truth.
And as far as President Cyril Ramaphosa is concerned, we understand from that briefing, of course, that the CEO of Eskom and some leadership met with President Cyril Ramaphosa as well as the minister. Talk to us about what you want to see, particularly from government level.
No, we want Pravin Gordon to stop because we can see that he's commenting a lot on the media. Today he said the negotiations are constructive, they are going well. I'm here at Cedarwoods. I can tell you the negotiations are extremely tense. But Pravin is spreading his propaganda in the media. They are saying different things that might jeopardize the wage negotiations. And he must stop doing that. And we want the president to get involved and be serious in resolving the crisis at Eskom.
All right, Livhwani, thank you so much for your time and for speaking to us. We'll certainly be speaking to you some more just to get a little bit more about what is happening and if there is indeed any update from your end. That was Livhwani Mammburu, and he's a NUM spokesperson, saying there that the union wants President Cyril Ramaphosa to intervene. They're also saying that the negotiations with the power utility Eskom are very tense at the moment. Of course, we know that earlier today we heard that those negotiations were going well, but the NUM saying that the negotiations are tense at the moment.